Good evening, all. Thank you for joining us, joining me today on this webinar series, Health and Wellness. Firstly, if you have any technical difficulties, use the Q&A box at the bottom and let us know with what's happening and we'll try to sort it out. Firstly, and also my name is Aashini. I'm a counsellor at Asian Family Services. At Asian Family Services, we have a program called Asha program, where I provide cultural appropriate counselling for all South Asians in Hindi and Fiji Hindi. So that's a little bit about my work and also a little about me, as we're going to be doing 3 series together. Just to introduce myself, I am Fiji Indian, so I was born in Fiji, and I immigrated to Auckland 20 years ago. But I still have several family members that are still in Fiji and back home. I also have a 11-year-old daughter and a 1-year-old dog who is a handful. And that's a little bit about me and who I am. While we're talking about home or thinking about home, I wanted us to have a minute silence just to think about everyone back home, and they're looking after themselves and to keep them safe. So we'll just have a minute silence, just thinking about them, please. Thank you for that. Just a little bit about the webinars. There is this webinar that you're attending right now, and the 2 others an hour long. But we'll make it as fun, as interactive as we can. So it'll be okay. The 3-part series includes one that talks about health and wellness, which is today. And next week, Wednesday, we will have one that talks about family psychoeducation and all about family, which is next Wednesday, presented by myself. And then the Wednesday after that, which is the 4th of August, we will talk about preventing and minimizing gambling harm. Please attend all 3 of them. Gambling harm especially, they talk about gambling harm and also addictions, which helps any sort of issues that anyone would come across. And all participants will remain anonymous, which means everything you talk about or ask questions with me is private and confidential. Now, any questions you ask, you can ask on the Q&A box at the bottom, and we'll try our best to answer all your questions at the end of the webinar. Throughout the presentation, there will be 3 polling questions. So questions that will pop up on the screen. It's just evaluating how we're going, whether the webinars make sense. Do you get some understanding out of it? And it's just pressing a number on whichever way you're at on the scale. Again, your answers will remain anonymous, and it's confidential. So now we'll start on the series. First of all, that's me, and it's just talking about what I do. So I'm a counselor and a health promoter. And I'm Fiji Indian. I have done my bachelor in applied counselling through MIT. The way I counsel, I use compassion therapy, narrative therapy, client-centered. So basically, it means it's just talking therapy. You sit down, have a chat, talk about what's happening, and I am your non-judgmental listening ear. So the webinar outline, we're going to talk about what is health and well-being, what impact stress has, how to cope with stress and anxiety, and where you can get help. So we're starting with what is health and well-being. So there's a lot of ways we feel that we know what health is and well-being, but they're two different things. And health and well-being broadly states that it's not just your physical self, it's not the mental or social well-being, it's actually all of that, including disease or any sickness that you would have. So what is the difference between mental health and mental illness? So if we read there, it says a general state of well-being and state of mind, and something that we should look after for mental health. An illness means that something that disrupts your state of mind and interrupts how you behave. So mental health basically means looking after our health, including our mental health. And our mental illness is something that concerns our brain and how we function every day. So this particular chart that we have talks about, if you look at it, it's going in a continuum straight. So we've got minimum mental illness and maximum mental illness, minimum mental well-being and optimum mental well-being. So it's basically saying what optimum mental well-being means is someone who has good sleep, eats well, eats healthy, has exercise, looks after their self, but they can still experience mental health. Despite, they can still experience high level of mental well-being despite being diagnosed. So even though they have been diagnosed with a mental illness, they can still be happy and they can still be functioning in our society. Or someone who can have a maximum mental illness, which means a diagnosed depression, or someone who's experiencing a low level of mental health. And they also combine that with alcohol, gambling, lack of sleep, not eating well. They can feel very unwell. For someone who doesn't have any mental illness, can still be feeling unwell if they combine that with lack of sleep, not good diet, drinking, smoking, gambling. So an optimum mental well-being is when we're having the proper sleep, the proper health, but we still feel once in a while unwell mentally, and it's okay to feel that way. We're going to now go to a slide where we talk a bit about stats and how it affects our South Asian population and Asian population and the community. So this was the New Zealand Mental Health and Wellbeing Report 2020, sorry. So we've got As you can see, the stat shows the level of feeling nervous, anxious, or on the edge. You either have not at all, several days, more than half a day, and nearly every day. So the nearly every day is the ones on the top, which is in a darker color, almost maroon, I would say. So it's still high, you know, it's amount, but it's still, people are feeling anxious, little interest or pleasure in doing things, not being able to stop or control worrying, or feeling down, depressed, or hopeless. But we have also a majority of group that don't feel that at all. So this is talking about majority of the Asian ethnic groups of feeling nervous, anxious, or on edge. So you can see, and you can see your own ethnicity on how it affects. So the dark maroon color is nearly every day. They feel anxious, nervous, or on the edge. The orange one is more than half a day. They feel like that. And the purple is several days and not at all. So we still have this very much in the community, affecting all of us. And this is by gender and age. The feelings of nervous, anxious, or on edge. And nervous means you're nervous about something, and anxious is you have anxiety. And we're going to talk more about this later on in our series. We'll talk about, our next slide is talking about stress. What is stress? It's saying it's a feeling of being overwhelmed and unable to cope with your emotional self and your mental pressure. So emotional pressure and mental pressure. I mean, there are times when you can definitely feel that, and it's called stress. The symptoms of stress and overload, especially now we're all working and life these days, it's hard. So we've got cognitive symptoms, which means it's the processing, how we're processing things. The physical, which is our body, how it's feeling in our body, and emotional, which is our how we're feeling emotionally, and behavioral is how we are reacting towards it. So the processing way, the processing symptoms are that we're always seeing things in a negative way. We're constantly worrying about everyday things. Poor judgment, so not able to judge things as well as you would normally. Hard to concentrate, so it's quite difficult to concentrate on things, and at work and at school. Feeling quite anxious, so sweaty, like it's hard to move forward, and racing thoughts. Again, if there's any questions, please keep using the Q&A box for your questions. And then we've got our emotional symptoms. So these are your feelings that you have. And it says you've got mood swings. So one moment you could feel like you're angry. The next it could be you're feeling sad. You feel you want to just be isolated and sitting in the room and not going and meeting family. Feeling like you're lonely all the time, even though you're around lots of people. Depression. Now that's a big word, but basically it's the feeling of no interest, like it says at the bottom, not finding any pleasure in doing things. Feeling overwhelmed every time, like Normally, what would be a normal process feels very overwhelming at the time. Getting angry quickly at things that would normally not annoy you or make you angry. And just one more note, as we're talking about this, please look after yourself, have a glass of water. If it's feeling like you're getting triggered by anything, remember we're here. We are going to give our numbers at the end. And please reach out to us. We're here to support you. Your physical symptoms that you'll get, aches and pains in your body, indigestion, so constantly feeling like you're getting acid reflux, diarrhea, chest pain, rapid heartbeat. You're either losing or gaining weight, and you're getting colds frequently. So colds meaning flu symptoms, or always getting a runny nose, and it's just your body telling you that you are stressed. Behavioral symptoms. You could be eating more or less. So having very fluctuating eating patterns, or sometimes eating too much because you're stressed, or eating nothing at all. That means your body is telling you that you are stressed. And you may notice this already. Sleeping too much or too little. So sometimes looking after yourself and sleeping is okay, but if you notice if you're sleeping too much or too little, that's when we need to check in with ourselves. Under behavior, it comes in as isolating oneself. So that means not going out, not visiting family, staying indoors most of the time, not wanting to mingle, which you would normally do. Procrastinating. Procrastinating basically means putting things aside or doing something else instead of what you need to do. And because it's stressful to think about what you need to do, which is important. Not neglecting responsibilities. So that means that, family, work, not worrying about it, just staying home and just ignoring the responsibility you have. Using alcohol and other drugs to feel good, to numb that feeling of stress. So before we go into this slide, I wanted to talk about the stressful feeling that you get and the numbing effect that some drugs or alcohol does. It sometimes causes it to still stay there. It makes it more, it actually is a depressant, and it'll make some things a bit, it's still there, the problem. So just reach out, please. We're here to talk. So part of the stress, part of everything, our journey through immigration, if you are, the journey through immigrating here, if you are someone who's come to New Zealand from another country, or your parents are from another country, this is immigrating to a new country is stressful. If we use a tree from another place, for example, gardeners out there, if you transplant a tree, it has a process. So if we think about replanting that tree from one place to another, which is what we're looking at, moving from one country to here, to New Zealand, or any other country, or any other place for the matter. When you do the replanting, the tree's main root system may be damaged because it has one root and has little roots on the side. So that causes the leaves to fall, and it says produce no fruit, which means it's affecting the plant the tree, which means when we go through that process, it will affect us. If you think about, put yourself in that tree, in that position of how the tree has moved. So it takes time for that tree to form new feeding roots, which is the small little roots that come out of a tree, which tries to find new sources of food. So in order for it to do that, it needs to adapt to its new location before the new leaves and fruit can grow. So while that process happens, stress happens. So remember, be gentle on yourself and understand that in this process of immigrating to a different country, apart from finding a home, making sure you've got work, making sure the kids have got school, you need to look after yourself. We forget that. So that stress builds. It keeps building. So think about the tree being replaced into a different area and how that would affect the tree and how it takes time. So one day at a time for the moment. So this is a bit more of the same situation that we use to show how immigration or living in New Zealand affects us before and after migration. It's called the integrated tree model. And life before migration, you could see that tree, it's flourishing, its leaves are out. But when it got uprooted, it goes through a process. There's a lot of process in there that affects it. So you've got school, you've got the neighborhood, extended family, friends, social conditions, a different culture, different work environment, family, different laws, different schools. So those are a lot of different layers that you're working around as you're also trying to live in a country, trying to sort out the money. There's a lot of layers that you work through. So the way we provide the support for you is we do public health, we do community awareness, we do screening so that we can know what's happening in terms of gambling being one of the addictions. We make sure that the safe gambling environment that we promote, that's part of our public health sector. Clinical, which is my side, counselling, providing group work, and peer support. And part of our Asian Family Services, we have Asian Helpline, where you can call and get supports and follow-ups and referrals to other places that can support you. So we'll have this evaluation question pop up. Please use that to give an honest evaluation about how things are going so far. Be much appreciated. Just to explain the question, it's just talking about how well do you understand what impact stress has on our processing, our physical body, our mental state, and how we react. So it's either to make any sense, or is it, okay, I get it. Scroll down, please, because there is more numbers for your understanding. It goes till 10. Appreciate it. Thank you. So this is about how to cope with stress and anxiety. So there are several helpful tricks and tips you can use to relieve your stress and anxiety. So the next few slides, we will go over some of these techniques. So first is the deep breathing exercises. So we may already know this, but when we inhale through the nose, inhale deeply. And when we exhale through the mouth, exhale slowly. So these are the things you can use where when you're inhaling, belly needs to be out because the air will go in, and exhale, belly is going to go in because you're exhaling. Please use this just 2 minutes of your day or even less than that. When you feel stressed, use this deep breathing exercise. If nothing else you remember out of this, if you can do this breathing exercise, it's going to really help your brain recharge, your body understand that, hey, I can have a moment of relief. Okay. Now, looking after your physical, which means your physical self, your physical well-being, and your psychological well-being. So it can be achieved, it says there, a healthy diet. So if you're from my country, as long as it's balanced. So we all learn about a balanced meal in primary school. So having, your green vegetables, your meat, and, a little bit of maybe roti. It's healthy. And so just not a little bit, I mean, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a dietitian, I'm just a counselor. So as long as it's healthy and you're eating at least 3 times a day, and drinking water, that's the most important thing. Physical activity, so anything, 30 minutes a day, if you can just go for a walk, do some yoga, even laughing 30 minutes a day helps. So try it. No harm in trying. And weight management. So this is all depends on what the doctor has advised you. So when we write weight management, it is not about going on a strict diet. It's just about finding out from your doctors what is appropriate, or actually knowing yourself what is healthy. And regular health checkups. We need to keep doing that to make sure that we are healthy. Psychological well-being, which is your mental or the psychological well-being that you have. Kindness, gratitude, journaling, connectedness. So we'll start with the bottom, connectedness. That means just making sure that you are catching up with your friends and family. You are talking to people. You are socializing when you're not working. Journaling. So journaling is basically you can use your phone. You can just talk into your phone and say, today was a good day. Today was not a very good day. So at least you are still getting yourself that support by talking about it. Gratitude. So gratitude just means that being grateful of your day. You are alive. And just being grateful for everything that's happening at the moment and what's to come. Kindness, just smiling at someone else is kindness, or just saying, hey, can I make you a cup of coffee? So simple things. If you can go out and do volunteering, at your local SPCA or anything, your local volunteer service for NGOs, you can certainly do that too. But just something simple as, sitting down and talking to your kids at the end of the day instead of being on the phone, maybe. And that's kindness. Having a good daily routine, making sure you're getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Stick to the same sleep patterns and awake times. Get rid of technology. Now, that's a big one. Just recently, I was listening to a podcast and it said that, and you can do it or not do this, but I'm trying this. And it says put your alarm on, but put your phone in the bathroom. So you have to get up and go and get your phone from the bathroom. And it gives you that option to still get your sleep and not be on the technology, but also getting up early and having a balanced diet, keeping hydrated, eat at set times. These are big things sometimes, but routines help your stress levels. Exercise, getting active and move about. Go with the family, go for a walk with the family. And enjoy and relax. So just find something you enjoy doing. Make time for it every day. Develop relaxation techniques. Enjoy and relax. So could be as simple as doing the breathing exercises that we spoke about. Could be as simple as sitting down and watching your favorite movie program with your family. Could be as simple as reading a book that you haven't read. And look up on YouTube. There's heaps of simple relaxation techniques you can find. So this is a bit of an extra or something that actually makes sense. It's based on work by Martin Selman. I might be pronouncing it wrong. Apologize. But it basically says using positive emotions, experiencing positive emotions such as happiness, satisfaction, self-regard, serenity, cheerfulness on a regular basis. If you have to listen to that comedy podcast, if you have to watch a comedy movie, just enjoy it on a regular basis. So Saturday night or something like that, whatever you would like, enjoy. I'll be with friends. Engagement. So having interests and pursuits that deeply captivate us. So it needs to be something that provides you with flow and personal growth. It's not just doing something, but it needs to be something where you feel like you are growing as a person. Relationships, experiencing affection, friendship, and love in both directions with other human beings in different contexts, like family, work, or leisure. So just experiencing affection. I feel like sometimes our kids do that. They love us unconditionally. Sometimes. So, and meanings, believing in and working towards something that transcends ourselves or a lifetime or lifetimes. So spiritually, something spiritual that doesn't need to be always religious. It can be just being out in the sun with sunscreen, or just being out in the fresh air, going for a walk at the Cornwall Park or something like that. Achievement. So experiencing some sort of accomplishment. So on a regular basis. So either it's at work or in our private lives. So a sense of accomplishment could just be, I did my breathing exercise today. I feel like I did something for myself. So this is towards you, looking after you, who needs that support. And then we've got vitality. and we've spoken about this on the other two slides, taking good care of our bodies and minds, having regular physical exercise, a healthy diet, enough sleep, and mindfulness practice. So the mindfulness practice could be breathing. So we do breathing every day. It's just how we are going to do that. That was a deep breathing that we're going to do. And finding your own little way of doing things, making it your own, making your well-being your own work, your own project, where what does it look like for you? How will you be maintaining physical well-being? How will your mental health help? How are you going to provide emotional well-being and social well-being supports? Emotional well-being or mental well-being, all those things can just be talking to your friends and family. And that's just how simple it could be, opening up and talking about things. It could be just as simple as lunch, how good lunch was. So the next one is, again, we've got an evaluation question coming up. And again, just put in whatever you think, however you think and feel, an honest opinion about whether it was helpful, not helpful, or somewhat helpful. And it's talking about finding the techniques of stress, how to manage your stress helpful. Or do you find the techniques introduced in this webinar help you to manage stress you're experiencing? Thank you. Again, everything's anonymous and confidential. So the next few slides are where you can get help. So there are many people who are available to help you and your family. No issue is too small. Reach out when you need to talk, someone to talk to. No issues are too small, remember that. So when we say there are many people, don't get overwhelmed by this triangle. It's just showing you what layers of support you can get. The biggest support you can get is your friends, your family, and the wider community. Just talking about something, reach out to them. There's also online, you can get your self-help resources. Lots of things online that are available to help you. We also have some available on our Asian Family Services website. You can refer to that to get a lot more information on what self-help means. Phone support, example, helpline. We've got our Asian Family Services helpline. We've got lots of support through the phone, which we will discuss in one of another slides. Which I would suggest taking a picture of if you can, so you have that on your phone all the time if you need to reach out. Also, you've got your GPs, your doctors, your family health providers, and other primary healthcare support. So anyone, Plunkett, there's so many others that can help you get the right support. And then we've got the NGOs, which is similar to us. We've got Asian Family Services and these other non-government organizations. Then we've got DHBs, which is the District Health Board. Then, and they would come in if all the other supports it's severe supports, then when we put in DHBs, inpatient and emergencies. But all we want to make you aware is that there's about 5 or 4 steps before we are, but we are still there. If you need to reach out to us, if you feel we can provide you the support, we're here too. So a little bit about Our organization, Asian Family Services, we are New Zealand's only mental health and gambling harm minimization service provider for Asian people. So providing support to our Asian communities, we've done that since 1998. And we offer nationwide professional and confidential service. So confidentiality is paramount to us. Everything is confidential. Whatever you talk to us is confidential. And our services is in 8 languages, including English, Mandarin, Cantonese, Hindi, Fiji Hindi, Korean, Vietnamese, Thai, and Japanese. And all our counselors and social workers are qualified and registered. Again, we'll provide you numbers at the end of the webinar. And a guide, this is basically talking about what we provide. Just a little bit about gambling and addiction. There's about 3.4 million New Zealanders that gamble. And 1 in 4 New Zealanders are drinkers. 1 in 8 New Zealanders adults smoke on a daily basis. And around 1 in 2 New Zealanders will experience poor mental health at some point in their lives. This particular guide, it's actually something that we provide. And the guide is for Asian people for anyone to manage addictions and emotional distress. So it's made for our Asian whānau family, and it provides a range of useful information and advice that help us to identify any problems we're experiencing and how to manage it. It's not just gambling, it's smoking, alcohol, drugs, and emotional distress. It also has strategies and how to manage that and obtaining, and also where the professional services are, so you can get that support. And this is also translated in Hindi and in Korean and Chinese. So check out our website. We've got our Facebook page. We've got Instagram. We've got ourselves on YouTube and WeChat. So Asian Family Services, just look us up. And you can see at the bottom of that website, there's links to how you can get further support. And you can refer yourself from our website or just call us. Simple. We're very friendly. Other useful contacts and information. Now, if you need to take a photo of this, please do. It's important to keep it somewhere that's easily accessible. If you just need to talk, it's free to call 1737 or text them 24/7. You talk to someone a trained counsellor or peer support. Peer support means someone who's gone through that and can help you through that. And then we've got Samaritans Aotearoa. So they're there to just have a chat and just have a good old conversation with you if you're feeling lonely. Depression helpline, as the words say there, they are for any sort of if you're isolated, if you feel like you are closing yourself off from people. Apologize. We somehow lost each other due to internet issues. If we've missed some useful context for young people, and share the screen. Apologize, technical difficulties here. So we have useful context for young people, Youthline. Our young people, even though they'll come and talk to you about things, there's some things they might want to share with other people, and it's confidential. It doesn't mean that they don't trust you or they don't want to talk to you. It's just that sometimes they need to open up a bit more. And the main thing is they need to talk. Suicide Crisis Helpline, this is for any major crisis. If you know someone is in immediate danger and they're going to harm themselves or other people, please call 111. Or if you feel that something's wrong, you can also call the Suicide Crisis Helpline. We've got another evaluation question. Please answer this last evaluation question. Thank you. So the evaluation question again is just advising or asking you, has your knowledge of our mental health support services for Asian people increased after this webinar? So have you known more than what you knew? Thank you, appreciate that. And so we're coming to the end of the webinar. And please, if you have any questions, just type in the question box. And just to let you know our numbers. So got that phone, take a photo of the number. 0800 862 342. We're available 9 a.m. till 8 p.m. Monday to Friday. We're based in Khyber Pass, in Grafton, in Auckland, level 1, 128, and in Wellington, level 5, 148 Cuba Street. Our office hours are Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 p.m. As you know, our website is Asian Family Services, and our email address is help@asianfamilyservices.nz. Again, our Asian Family Service counselors are always ready to help you. We're always here supporting you in your own language, and we would love to talk to you. Just give us a call for any support you need for yourself or your family. We're available. So this is the end of the webinar. Thank you for staying and participating in this webinar. I will see you again next week, Wednesday, for family psychoeducation. And it's an exciting webinar. I hope to see you all then, and look forward to seeing you then. I'll just check, and we've got our lovely Shara here who is helping out with all the technical side of things. So thank you. And she will let me know if there's any questions that we need to answer. Okay, so there's one question that, okay, that we've got. I can't see any questions here at the moment, so I'll just have a look at this question. Thank you. I've got a thank you, very informative. Thank you very much. I appreciate your feedback and look forward to seeing you all next week on Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Look forward to seeing you. Take care. Good night.